Hello everyone and welcome to today's PhotoBiz Live, where we'll be doing an Ask Me Anything about domain management. We have some new domain management features and I'm going to walk you through that today. And if you have any other questions about how you can manage your domain, maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you're going to do something like add an additional domain or change domain names, and you want to do that without having your website go down in any interim, we're going to showcase how you can do that today by going from any type of domain provider you use, and then how you can connect it directly here and transfer it in and such. So we'll be talking about that today. If you have any other questions, please let me know. It's more technical based today, but hey, if you have any other questions about anything else inside the platform, please let me know. We can take a look at that as we go through it today. But we'll showcase this momentarily. I'm going to give people some time to get settled in. If you have any questions about domains, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. I'll take a look at it and answer it as I go. Okay, let's go ahead and get started for today. Again, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. We'll take a look at it as we go. Yeah. Hello, Cynthia. Seeing ODOM connected. Not quite sure what you mean by that. Please let me know. But again, if you have any other questions, comments, or just wanting to know more tips and tricks, you can always check out our blog.photobiz.com. There's some great resources there. Anytime you need something when it gets getting started, seeing new features and tools like what we're going to be discussing today, the domain management features. But you can see there's lots of other articles out there to help you get paid and just help you understand the tools that you have already within the PhotoBiz builder itself. So if you're a brand new person or you already use our platform, you might not know about all these features that are included, such as the ability to create landing pages for any type of session you might have, from family mini sessions that are available, wedding photography specials, and styling and posing guides that are available you can choose from. You can start with these as templates and then modify them how you go and customize them the way you like them. So those are available right now in the builder. You also, if you want to have an alternative to Linktree, Linktree the only person that really benefits is Linktree itself. It gets their name out there because everyone says, "Hey, use my Linktree," but they're not saying anything other than that because all that data is funneled into them. It's not actually funneled into you. You rely on SEO data and analytics, which they lack in their system, and it's actually to help benefit them at the end of the day. So, some things that the shortcomings of Linktree is limited SEO benefits. If you host on their domain, meaning all the traffic is directly to them, that's why they grow as a company versus you. Duplicated content concerns and basic analytics. You're gonna get a lot of less unless you utilize what we have built into our system, our social pages. So you can actually build your own social pages through PhotoBiz, and here's one right now that you can see. You can modify and add your own links right away, and you can put your own SEO data in there and metadata descriptions and such there as well. And you can make this page optimized for search where link trees are not. So just something to benefit from that you can take advantage of right now in the PhotoBiz Builder. So start building smarter, and hopefully you'll get more clients that way. All right, let's jump over to what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about something more technical, and that is actually going to be domain management. So when we're looking at how to domain manage, there's some new updates that we've added to the PhotoBiz system. Now you can actually manage that system, after hours, anytime you want. Maybe you're getting your website all set up and you've contacted our team, but you'd rather just do it yourself. You have that ability for you. So if you're taking something from like a GoDaddy, you can then connect it directly into your account right away without having to wait on our team. Or maybe you're trying to transfer a domain out or get a new domain in. Those are things that you can utilize and implement right away. But when we're looking at it is how can you manage this stuff? So if you go to our support article right here, it actually talks about how you can utilize these things. So you can take a look at our support article at support.photobiz.com/domain and email sections, and you'll see how to manage your domain DNS records in PhotoBiz. Here, you'll see how you need to route everything. You go in here directly, and we'll go step by step in here, just like it is here. So step one, we're going to log in and access your DNS settings. So log into your PhotoBiz account. So once you've done that, you'll come over to here. Next, you're going to want to click on domains in the left side menu. So in the left side, right here, you're going to want to see the domain option. Click here for domains, and this will show you your domain information. When we're looking at domain information, you're going to see all the steps available. So you'll have step 2, open the DNS zone editor. In the domain panel, find a domain and click manage DNS. You can see we have only one domain in here for my daughter's website. We'll click manage DNS, and directly from here it's going to take us to your main domain if you need to add a new one, and here's your current ones if you need to delete or modify. So it's going to show you a bunch of information like that. So if you're going to create a new one, you want to add a new DNS record, you want to click new DNS. So from here, you're going to click new DNS. You can see the types available, if you're doing a .com or anything like that, or add a DNS directly in here. So if you're doing anything for your mail or anything like that, this is what it's going to update. So supported DNS record types. A record points your domain to a specific IP address. So you're going to find that to be very vital. So when you're connecting a new one, you're going to see when you're looking at DNS records, name servers, host names, stuff like that, this is all available like in GoDaddy. So you can see all the name servers that are available if you need to change the name servers, anything like that. You're going to come over here. You can also see CNAME, redirects your one domain name to another. So if you're having to connect it to somewhere completely different, maybe you're going from like John Doe Photography and you want it to connect to johndoe.com, you'll see that is available. MX is the mail exchange, routes emails to your mail server, so you can see that available as well. You can see the different types of records available by just selecting the type that you want to add. So MX is going to give us mail servers if it's pointed from somewhere else. So again, this is where it would send it to. The next type you have is going to be text, used for things like domain verification, email, email authentication, and such. So if you need to update your DKIM or DMARC, this is where you can update that information directly here. SRV is used for services like a void IP and messaging. So if you need to add anything like that, you can do it here. You have to be careful when you're doing this though. When you're editing your DNS settings incorrectly, it can cause problems with your webmail, email, or other services. Only make changes if you're confident and you have the exact instructions from your provider that you trust. So, if you have any issues or, you're worried about making any of those connections, again, rely on our team to help you when you need that. This is here for you to update when you don't need us. If you're very confident in your skills in updating your IP and stuff like that and your DNS records, you can do it directly here. So you're going to go through step 4, enter the record details and save. So, if you're taking details from over here, like a record, you're going to change your name servers and such. You pull that data information here. This is going to take that information and this is where you would put it over. You're going to come over to your domain section. You're going to see it here. You would select the type that you're going to do. I'm going to do a type. You would put your information directly in this section. Okay, so here's an example. Example.yourdomain.com, the target where you wanted to send it to, and add a DNS record. So that's what you would do to connect those pieces. I can't do it already here because this is already a connected domain, but if you can see the steps going step by step, you'll be able to connect that domain with ease. So, be careful if you're deleting a DNS record. So if that's something that you need to do, if you want to get rid of one, you want to add a brand new one with the existing one maybe being kicked out, maybe you don't need that domain anymore, you can do that relatively fast. So be careful when removing a DNS record. It can cause services like your website or email to stop working. Deleted records cannot be recovered and must be re-entered manually. So if you delete it, you're going to have to put all that information back in there. So be careful when doing this. To delete a record, you go to domains, you're going to click on the manage DNS section again, just like we did before, and you'll see for that record, here's all those delete options. So this is where you delete like an A name, C name, mail records, you name it, all that would be deleted through here. You click which one you want to delete and then you confirm deletion. So when you're ready, you just hit delete and it's gone. Super easy, super easy. And of course, if you ever need help, you can reach out to our team. We'll be able to help you when it comes to managing your DNS or any of that. So when you're trying to transfer that information in, this is something definitely you want to be aware of. Now, there's some other things that go into domain that you might not know about. And that's also thinking about like your domain name and such like that. So why is that important? So if we're going to type in, like when we're looking up an article about domain names and stuff like that, where I had that article. Give me just 1 second. Here we go. Your domain name is as important to anything. So like apple.com, Wikipedia, when we're thinking about your domain name, how easy is it to remember and get found? You might have a really beautiful name of your business like miraclemomentsphotography.com, but is everyone going to remember that off the top of their head? Sometimes that can be the difficult factor when it comes to anything. And longer domain names sometimes can also make people feel standoffish. It can make the click-through rate a little bit shorter. People might not want to do it because they're not comfortable with it. So when we're talking about domain names, sometimes being fast and straight to the point is more important than something longer. So, looking at these hypothetical ones, hwp.com is not a great domain name, even though it's very short. What does HWP mean? I don't know what that means. It's an abbreviation, right? But, here's one that's really long. Hollywood portraits might be what you were trying to go for, or Hollywood, or, something of that nature. But Hollywood, California, boudoir, and wedding portraits.com is very descriptive, but it's way too long. So you want to get somewhere in a sweet spot. So HollywoodPortraits.com would be a preferable point. So when you're looking at domains, think about what's concise and fast to remember. JohnDoePhotography.com, JaneDoePhotography.com, JaneDoePhotos.com, JohnDoePhotos.com, anything of that nature. You don't have to get super descriptive. Now, if you want to have like GreensboroPhotographer.com, that's okay too, because you're trying to really dial it in for a specific niche area. Charlotte photographer, Baltimore photographer. You're really trying to nail that stuff. Now, of course, those names are usually taken fast because they're just highly, wanted ones. But if you have your .com and you get a secondary one that you want to have as a traction point that you can have in there, you might have johndoephotography.com, but then you're trying to optimize for, you know, marylandphotographer.com at the same time, that's where you can add those additional domains in. So again, remember when we were adding that new DNS, we would click C name and that would connect here where we wanted to go. We wanted to go to sophia.com, but the target would be from that new URL that we've created. So when we're thinking about that, we also don't want to misspell names on purposes. It's already difficult enough. People have difficulties in spelling in general. So think about, Hollywood.photography. If you add more L's, it's just going to make it more harder, because what if someone puts less L's? Does it actually go to that website? What if someone does Hollywood with 3, but they type in the one with 2? They're going to go to a different customer, different type of clientele. Got to be smart with that. And also, do not use numbers in URL domain names. Why is that? Because it looks like spam. Right away, it feels like something harmful might come from it. And you do not want your customers to feel like that when it comes to searching for you. You don't need to domain stuff. You don't need to use keyword stuffing in your domain. So again, we saw it up here where they're trying to kind of do it up here: Hollywood, California, boudoir, and weddingportraits.com. It doesn't matter. A lot of people think that if you include that in there, that would help with SEO. That's not simply the case. It does not work that way. Way back in the days, that might help boost with rankings and such, but that doesn't really matter anymore. So yeah, you might want to go for BaltimorePhotographer.com, but it doesn't really matter. Like if someone wanted to come up with Idaho wedding photographer, all I had to do was type in that, and boom, page 1. But now it's different. So now it's just convenient factor, less than gaming SEO, if that makes sense. So you don't want to think about that. Another thing people used to do was hoard domains and just get one for like every county, state, you name it, just so they could benefit from it from an SEO purpose. But it doesn't work that way. If more people are coming from one over the other, it just doesn't help. Another common misconception is owning multiple similar domains can somehow increase your SEO value, but it doesn't work that way at all. Owning every variation of your domain name is a waste of money, and it also be no way to beneficial for SEO. The potential advantage in preventing your competition from buying a similar domain, for example, janesphotography.com versus Jane Photography, Jane's Photographs versus Jane Photography, could be confusing, but that doesn't mean you should spend $500 a year squatting on these domain names. Still prevalent today, I think people are just most common with .com, so you definitely want to utilize that as much as possible. It just helps. Now there's new ones out there like .photo, things like that, but .com just feels more verified, if that makes sense. People just trust the .coms. Now there's .net and other things like that. Yes, you can do .net, the secondary. If you're an organization, definitely like a nonprofit, you definitely want to go with a .org, but try to stay with .com as much as possible. There's so many things out there right now. Some of these other ones still feel alien and foreign to people and can also feel like spam. So if you want to change your domain name, we've already talked about that. It's going to have some negative ranking issues, because if you change it directly, that's why it's always nice to have a secondary one that you can connect with, but you don't always have to have one. So we'll go back over here. We're going back over to our article on how to manage. Again, you want to go through here, you select your domains. Let's just do a quick walkthrough again, straight from the house. You'll log in, you'll click on domains. You'll see your server. You don't want to edit it. You want to click manage DNS. This will then give you all the records for your .com. Then here is where you'll put that information if you're adding new ones. Again, please allow up to 48 hours, 2 days to get it all connected. But you would go over here, you would see your name servers and such. This is where you would program that stuff in when possible. If you're collecting your DNS records, anything like that, this is where you start connecting those things in. So if you need to add your DNS records, this is where you can always update that information. You can see I already got all this information plugged in. You can see here's all the name servers for that. But if this was open, you would have the ability to add all those servers, details directly here. And they would start to fold in about 48 hours later. All this information would start to slide directly in. And if you need to update, delete, or anything like that, you could do that there. Now, what if you got a domain directly from us? Well, you can delete it if you want to, but it's just going to hover in space at that point, right? You might want to contact our team if you accidentally delete, a domain directly from us. But you can always purchase ones from us as well if you want additional ones, and you don't really have to worry about this at all. So you can always click here. You can always go to, premium upgrades, get another domain name, and buy one. And with us, you get prorated pricing if you've already a customer of us, and how much it would cost. So not too bad. So if you need to get one, go ahead and implement it on your website directly from us, or you can always import directly from something like GoDaddy or domains.com or anything like that. Now this is, again, very, very simple technical information that we're dispelling today. Nothing too crazy. It's very easy. We just now give you those options. These are some new features that we've implemented that we wanted to discuss how you can utilize it. In the next couple of months, we'll probably have some more articles and information on why and how to do this. You can always check out our support.photobiz.com articles. And again, go to our blog.photobiz.com if you ever need any assistance. Again, we were discussing what was new that came out in June that we're focused on with domain management. It came out at the end of this week, so it is available now. You'll be able to update your domain settings however you want to, delete the commonly used DNS record types whenever you need to, and of course, if you prefer, you can still contact us. So you don't have to worry. You do not have to do this all by yourself. You can still contact us if you need help with your domain. We just want to now have the option for you to do it anytime you like. So, other things you could do. If you ever need assistance getting started, wanting help, maybe you're working on something but you want a pair of eyes on it, you can always contact us and do our coaching services. This is one of our most popular services we have available. You can check it out. We do a design assistance, e-commerce, client galleries, marketing, forms and contracts, SEO, and if you're getting started, for 1 hour for $150, you can do a lot in that. I've set up entire websites in that time period, and so have my other coaches. So it's a great time if you're getting started, want to refresh or anything like that. Maybe you need help setting up all your items for e-commerce. This is a great way to do it as well. Also, you can see upcoming events. Next week, we'll be focusing on website reviews on July 18th. After that, we're going to go and do a restart with designing with PhotoBiz. So this is going to be a great one. You want to join us for that. We have a brand new features, a lot of them coming out that are going to expedite how fast you can build and update your web pages with PhotoBiz. I cannot wait to showcase all the latest features. You're going to be building faster than ever before, and it was already fast. So cannot wait to showcase that. You're going to love all the new features that we're dropping. Also, after that, we'll have website reviews, and then the week after that, August 8th, ask me anything about e-commerce. Website reviews, we're going to be doing that on the 15th, and then after that, we have ask me anything about SEO, and then Friday, my birthday, website review. So join me then on August 29th. If you like to do things after hours or on your own, you have our own demand videos also available here at our education.photobiz.com. You'll be able to choose between different types of videos to help you get started. But if you need walkthroughs on how each tool works, we have demos for all tools that are available. So you can always check that out anytime and get started then. And of course, if you need contacting our team, you can reach out to us. You can do it either through the contact page, or you can contact us directly. If you're logged in, you'll see this little guy. Pop up and talk to him anytime. You can ask us any questions that you might need help with. All right, that's it for today. Very short one today, but just want to walk through how that new setup is going to work. If you need any help with that, please reach out to our team. We will be happy to assist you as we always done with your domain. But if you want to jump right on in, you have that ability now. Okay, I'll see you next time.